A tiny fragment of bone, found deep in a Siberian cave, unveiled a lost branch of humanity with no known face, until a centuries-old skull from China forced scientists to rewrite our origin story. Ancient DNA, not old bones, exposed a genetic cousin whose legacy lingers in millions today. This isn't just about where Denisovans came from. It's about how their invisible traces change everything we thought we knew about human evolution. But what secrets still lie hidden in the soil? And just how far did the Denisovans really roam? In 2008, a team sifting through the cold, layered dirt of Denisova Cave in southern Siberia uncovered a bone fragment just 12 millimeters long. It looked unremarkable, too small to identify by eye, not enough to hint at a face or a story. Yet, inside that sliver of ancient bone, geneticist Svante Pabo and his colleagues found a code that would upend the story of human evolution. Using cutting-edge sequencing at the Max Planck Institute, they extracted DNA so well preserved it allowed them to reconstruct an entire genome. When the results came in, the shock was immediate. This was neither Neanderthal nor modern human. The genetic data pointed to a branch of the human family tree no one had seen before, one that had split off from Neanderthals nearly 400,000 years ago. The cave itself had been a crossroads for millennia, its sediments recording 300,000 years of occupation by humans and animals. But this discovery was different. For the first time, an extinct hominin was identified not by its skull or skeleton, but by its DNA alone. The genome revealed a people who once roamed the Altai Mountains, leaving behind only fragments, yet whose descendants' genes still echo in millions living today. Without a face or a full skeleton, the Denisovans became a ghost lineage, defined by their genetic fingerprints. Their DNA mapped a story of ancient migrations and encounters, suggesting a world more complex than anyone had guessed. The fragment, cataloged as Denisova 3, became the reference point for a whole new chapter in human ancestry. The discovery left scientists with a tantalizing question. If DNA could reveal a lost people from a single bone, what other secrets might still be hidden in the earth, and how far did the Denisovan story reach? Inside the ancient DNA lab, every move begins with a battle against contamination. Technicians suit up in full-body coveralls, masks, and double gloves before entering a clean room, where even a stray skin cell could ruin a specimen. Bone fragments and teeth from Denisova Cave are first powdered, then treated with a silica-based extraction method. This process binds the fragile DNA molecules to silica columns, allowing researchers to wash away impurities and concentrate what little genetic material remains. The DNA they recover is old, sometimes more than 100,000 years, and riddled with telltale damage. One signature is the conversion of cytosine to uracil, which appears as a C to T change in the sequencing data. These damage patterns help scientists distinguish genuine ancient DNA from modern contamination. To scale up, teams now process dozens of samples at once. In a single study, 728 sediment samples from Denisova Cave were analyzed. Only 24% yielded detectable traces of human DNA, but these positives mapped a detailed timeline of occupation by Denisovans, Neanderthals, and later modern humans. Sediment sampling doesn't require bones at all. Technicians extract genetic material directly from the dirt, revealing the presence of hominins who left no visible remains. This approach uncovered evidence of a Denisovan Neanderthal child, Denisova 11, a first-generation hybrid, identified by her genome as the daughter of a Neanderthal mother and a Denisovan father. Such discoveries would be impossible with bones alone. Every stage is checked and rechecked. DNA fragments are sequenced, mapped to reference genomes, and authenticated by damage patterns. Even with just a fraction of a percent of the original DNA, researchers can reconstruct entire genomes, compare them to Neanderthals and modern humans, and even spot signs of interbreeding. The tools and methods developed in these labs make it possible to trace Denisovan footprints far beyond Siberia, setting the stage for discoveries in places where fossils are scarce, but their DNA lingers in the earth. High on the Tibetan Plateau, in the thin air above 3,000 meters, a Buddhist monk exploring Vaishyakars Cave stumbled upon a jawbone half buried in the limestone floor. The mandible, later dated to over 160,000 years ago, would become the first Denisovan fossil found outside Siberia. Yet it wasn't the shape of the bone that told its story. Instead, scientists turned to proteins preserved in the teeth, unlocking a molecular signature that matched the Denisovan genome from the Altai Mountains. This single fossil, discovered by chance, stretched the Denisovan range nearly 2,000 kilometers south and revealed a population living in one of the world's most extreme environments. The Tibetan Plateau is notorious for its low oxygen levels, but Denisovan DNA carries a clue to how these ancient people survived. Modern Tibetans possess a variant of the EPAS1 gene, sometimes called the super athlete gene, that helps the body use oxygen more efficiently at high altitude. Geneticists trace this adaptation directly to Denisovans, showing that interbreeding left a functional legacy in people living on the plateau today. This is not the only Denisovan inheritance. Genes associated with dark skin, hair, and eyes also appear at high frequencies in modern Asian and Oceanian populations, echoing the physical traits of their ancient relatives. The genetic impression is not a faint echo. In Papua New Guinea and parts of Oceania, up to 6% of the genome traces back to these ancient hominins, while East Asians, including Han Chinese and Tibetans, carry between 0.1 and 0.3%. These percentages may seem small, but they represent a vast and lasting connection, especially when key genes like EPAS1 have become nearly universal among Tibetans. Ancient DNA from a 40,000-year-old man found near Beijing shows even higher Denisovan ancestry, suggesting that this legacy was once more widespread across East Asia. The story of Denisovans is not limited to Siberia or a single cave. Fossils and DNA reveal a people who adapted to mountains, migrated across continents, and left their mark on the genes of millions living today. The next clue would come from a skull found in northeastern China, promising to put a face to this mysterious lineage. In the industrial chaos of 1933 Harbin, a laborer pulled a massive skull from the mud near a bridge construction site. He hid it in a well for decades, fearing political turmoil, and only much later did his family bring the fossil to scientists. The specimen, soon nicknamed Dragon Man, presented a face unlike any seen before. A long, low brain case, prominent brow ridges, and a broad nose. Radiometric and faunal analysis placed its age at least 146,000 years old, possibly much older. Yet the real breakthrough came not from the skull itself, but from hardened plaque on its teeth. Researchers, including Xiaomei Fu, used advanced techniques to extract mitochondrial DNA from this dental calculus. The genetic sequences matched those from Denisova Cave, linking Dragon Man to the Denisovan lineage and stretching their known range deep into northeastern China. Proteomic analysis of the skull's inner ear bone confirmed the connection. The Harbin cranium's protein profile clustered with Denisovan fossils, not with Neanderthals or modern humans. This provided the first nearly complete Denisovan skull, bringing the ghost lineage into focus and allowing scientists to reconstruct a plausible face, broad, strong, and distinct from both humans and Neanderthals. But the find also exposed new mysteries. The skull's exact provenance remains uncertain, and attempts to recover nuclear DNA have so far failed. Without a full genome, questions about population structure and interbreeding remain open. The search now moves south. Plans are underway to extract sediment DNA from caves in Southeast Asia, targeting sites where fossils are rare but Denisovan genes persist in living people. Long-read sequencing and improved protein analysis may soon fill in the missing chapters. Each advance brings the Denisovans out of the shadows, but the trail's far from cold. Somewhere in the tropical forests or limestone caves of Asia, more clues wait: fragments of bone, teeth, or even a faint genetic trace in ancient dirt, ready to rewrite what we know about our closest lost relatives. Every genetic clue reshapes our map of human origins. Today, Denisovan DNA lives on in millions across Asia and Oceania, a legacy hidden in our blood, not our bones. As new discoveries surface, the boundaries of our shared history keep shifting. Humanity's story is still being written. Share your perspective below.